Okay, and we're live. Doing it again. Wow, that light ring's really irritating, isn't it? Hang on. Getting a bit moody. Yeah, let's see how that goes. That's the trouble with light rings and glasses. That's much better. Awesome. All right, well, hey pals. Welcome back to the Stitch Up. This is take 2 of the goddamn watch along. And I'm not 100% sure how this one's gonna go either, but whatever. It's all fun. So yeah, we're doing Scrooged. 1988, Scrooged. I'm watching it on the big TV, and hopefully, YouTube doesn't hear it too much, and then pull me from doing it. Keep our fingers crossed, but I'll just sit and see if anyone's going to come along. Excuse me, burping. I just ate dinner. Hope you're all well in this Christmas time, the Christmas season. What's been going on? It's struggled last night with this. Just had really bad internet connection for whatever reason, and some nights it's not great. And so I thought, well, I'll redouble my efforts. And today I shot 3 episodes of the Stitch Up for first thing next year. So the first 3 episodes for next year. So I shot those back to back. So I sound a little hoarse. That's probably why. So I shot Batman Returns, which I'm looking forward to showing you. I love that movie so much. It's probably my favorite superhero movie, and if you watch the episode, you'll understand why. And I've got to remember to look at this little green dot too. And then I did one on 40-Year-Old Virgin at the request of one of my friends, Lisa, who who was saying that she hasn't watched any of the episodes that I've done yet because I haven't done a film that she is interested in, seeing analyzed or whatever. So I said, well, tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it. And she gave me a list, and that was one that I thought would be a good one to talk about. So I shot that one too. And also did a shorter episode on Venom. I can't say the title of this film without cracking up every time. Let There Be Carnage. And you know what? Let There Be. Such a stupid name. Originally, that film was supposed to, well, the director, Andy Serkis, wanted to call it Love Will Tear Us Apart, which I think is a much better idea. But what do I know? So yes, that's what I did today, getting all that shot up. And this is sort of the end of my year. Like it's this will be the last episode, in parentheses for the year. Then we'll have a 2-week break. There'll be a little bit of content here and there, over the Christmas period, New Year period. But I'll be taking a break off. The next episode won't drop until I think it's Monday the 10th. So that'll be your Batman Returns, and then we'll be going weekly or bi-weekly after that, depending on the schedule. So I'll wait a little bit longer and see what else is happening. Let's talk about Scrooged. Scrooged is obviously a adaptation, or at the time, an 80s modern adaptation of A Christmas Carol. Now, having watched the Disney's Christmas Carol film, the computer generated one with Jim Carrey, the Robert Emmerich film, Roland Emmerich rather, a couple of days ago. Like the story is very fresh in my head, and this, it sticks pretty close to it, in terms of its structure. It's just the time and place in which it's set that's different, and Bill Murray being the Scrooge character, as opposed to being, I think in the original Scrooge he was either a landlord or a land developer of some sort. I'm not sure. But in this, he's a TV executive, which makes absolute sense as far as sort of the boom in 80s is concerned, where media became more about selling things and less about educating people or telling stories, in the very least. So yeah, it's an interesting departure from the actual original story that we all know from watching the original version. Like even the Muppet Christmas Carol is probably more accurate to the time period and the structure. It just has Muppets in it. And you know what? You want to put Muppets in any movie, it's probably going to end up being a better movie. Silence of the Lambs with puppets, pretty funny, I reckon, even with all the cannibalism. So, but yeah, I'm watching this on Binge. Really good service. I was skeptical. So I was like, "Oh god, not another service." You know, you get like so many services. Remember when it was just Netflix, or remember when it wasn't anything? Remember when it was a video store? Because I do. I used to work in half a dozen, but yeah, remember when it was just Netflix, and then you had Stan, and then somehow Prime got me. Prime you do because it's cheap, and we got to help Jeff get to space, and because all those server farms he owns aren't enough. Maybe I didn't get thrown off YouTube for that. He's not involved in YouTube, doesn't matter. And then it was like, what have they got now? They got Paramount Plus. Binge is pretty good. It's kind of the sister service to what in America is HBO Plus. So you get all the WB shit here, which you can WB. Remember that little frog from Warner Brothers? He was my fave. And so you get all that business. And then yes, it's Paramount, Disney Plus, of course. Like you're not allowed to not have that. I think it's in the bylaws for any citizen must have the Disney Plus. And there's a whole bunch of other ones too that Apple TV tries to get me to sign up to them all the time because I have Apple equipment. My phone and the Adobe suites and stuff tend to work better with that kind of hardware to software. And it keeps trying to get me like, dudes, my dudes, you gotta not just make your own shit with Jason Momoa blind. And they do some movies occasionally. They did that movie Cherry with Tom Holland, which I quite liked. People kind of panned it, but I thought it was interesting. Story about addiction and post-traumatic stress, and it was stylistically really interesting too. Like it looked very different, and it wasn't because the Russo brothers had spent so much time making Marvel movies that they hadn't really done anything of their own in a long time, and it kind of felt a little bit more about what they would do had they not been tied down to Captain America for so long. And yeah, there's just so many streaming services, but Binge has got me. There's some really cool shit on it. The same movies you get everywhere, really. If you're looking for something specific, you really have to search these days. But the broad scope of what you would find, in anybody's regular DVD collection, like I still buy disc media. That's all going to be there. You might find some. Stan's probably best for like obscurities, like the foreign stuff or older stuff. Like they've got a really good. And they do a lot of Australian stuff as well. And they've started to produce more stuff. Like they produce Nitram or Nitram or whatever you call it. I keep calling it Nitram, but I think it's Nitram. And it's just if there's so many options. There's so many options. So look, we're coming up to 10 minutes. There's no one here. I don't fucking care. I would be doing this anyway. The only difference is all these thoughts would be happening in my head as opposed to directed at something. So look, if I can direct them at something, that's great. That's awesome. And then you all can watch this later as a commentary track. So I'm going to give it 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to get in. I'm just luxuriating on the couch here. Again, this is the Stitch Up After Dark. Later on we'll talk about massage oils or whatever. I don't know anything about massage oils. I have to get Yanni back on the show. She knows all about massage oils. Not in that came out wrong. Sorry, Yan. She's a masseur. Is what that is, or she's a wellness professional, and one of the things she does is massage and Reiki and shit. Not that she uses massage oil in the sexy way I was talking about. Also, if you can hear that, my neighbour's bringing their bin up, so it's fun. It doesn't have there's no structure at all. Like I just did 3 episodes that were annotated and I knew the points that I had to get to, and I'd written a few gags, which I normally don't do, but there was like for Venom 2 in particular, fuck me. That movie is just, I didn't not like it. That's the thing. I kind of dug it, but it were bloody odd and weird. It's such an obscurity that film got made. Like this is where we are at a point where, Venom can have a sequel. Crazy. Considering, I mean, the first one did well, but it's not a very good movie. It's a terrible song. Do you remember the Eminem song? Venom, the sheen of being a phantom and wearing fucking denim and denim. So, wow. What happened? Marshall? Is that his name? It is Marshall Mathers, isn't it? That movie's tough. But you'll see the review. It's quite short, but it was, I didn't not like it. It has its place. It's just, it wasn't really what I was looking for. But I also got to see it for free. So, because I'm I snuck in. No, that's not true at all. All right, cool. Well, look, it's 10 minutes past the time I was going to start. There's no one here. I don't care. If you're watching later on, enjoy the commentary track, and I hope you have a good time. As I said, there's no. I haven't. I'm just making all this up. I was going to watch this movie anyway. It's one of the ones I watch closer to Christmas Day than any of the others, just because it feels right. And yeah, thanks for downloading and seeing us. So here we go. I'm going to put it on. Just as I was about to do it, the TV's timed out. See, now it's playing on my phone. It's not what you want. Stop it. All right, playing on the telly now. Talk about. All right, is it going to play from the start? All right. So go back to the start. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to get it up to 10 seconds and then count down. Here it comes. I don't know if you can hear it. This mic's pretty sensitive though. All right. So I've got the film at 10 seconds in. No, I'm not streaming. What am I doing? I'm casting to the TV. And we're going 10 seconds in, and I'm going to count down, and you're going to do it with me. So we go. Uno, dos, tres. And we're in it together. And here it is, going through the Paramount logo. Scrooged. The old flying through the clouds shot, classic. Now, you'll always forget that this film starts with, like, it's it's an ad for a movie that the production company is that Bill Murray works for is producing. It's like it's a Christmas action movie, like sort of Die Hard-ish. So we're at the North Pole here. Ooh, some clunky crane work there. Jesus. Who's operating that crane? Stevie Wonder. Now, this is a game we like to play. I mean, that guy's a bit of a giveaway, but the game that we like to play is this a small person or is it a child? Who knows? And I think they get attacked by aliens if I'm not mistaken. Well, it seems like YouTube's letting me continue to stream without all this without knocking me off. There is the weirdest juxtaposition of stuff, seeing Mrs. Claus with a machine gun. Lee Majors. Was he the $6 million man? I don't know. Oh, this is one Santa that's going out the front door. There's a sex joke there, but I'm not going to make it. I just got sent a message by my dear friend Brad, who's obviously watching, and he's got a picture of me on the big TV. You probably can't see that, but that's amazing. Thanks, man. Thanks for watching. Hey, Addy, how you doing? My friend Addy's on board. My main man, who I do reviews with on IG. Last one this week, Addy, for Hawkeye. Last episode. Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Brad. Thanks for tuning in, man. I really appreciate it. You know, it's, as I said before, this is probably going to end up being more of like a commentary track people will find later. But if we get to hang out for, you know, an hour and a bit, that's always fun. Father loves Beaver. I wonder, are you guys watching it at the same time? Perhaps not. The fantastic Bobcat Goldthwait there. Bill Murray, he's such an obscurity, man. Like as a lead actor, he is so not good looking in the traditional sense. Like 80 stars in the 80s were, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, granted, they're not very good at acting, and Bill Murray is, but I mean, all the cast of Ghostbusters are not good looking in the traditional sense, but he just has this charisma that you can't not look at him, you know. And yeah, Addy, this week's going to be good. Good. I'm looking forward to this. The final wrap up of the Hawkeyes. It's been a good series. I've had a lot of fun writing it too. I'm pretty sure that one of those guys was from MASH. That's right. So behind the scenes of this is that's going on is always this live Scrooge adaptation that they're doing. You know, the TV studio that Bill Murray works for is doing, and that's always going on in the background, and that plays into the ending very much. But yeah, so Bobcat Goldthwait, wonderful comedian. It's weird because you hear him here, and it's sort of like this is what his normal voice would be. Like normally he sounds like like he's real. That was a bit more Pee Wee Herman, but you know what I'm saying. He's very much like muted here, and I wonder if that's what he actually sounds like because I've never heard his real voice. And now he's a director. He directs a lot of stand-up stuff. I think he might have done one of uh, Chris Rock specials. Actually, it might have been Bo Berman. Actually, yeah, that's cool, Eddie. Go and book your tickets. You got to get into that No Way Home. Shit, homie was telling me the other day he's not going to get a chance to see it until when is it, Eddie? It's like, is it January? Is it after Christmas? Man, avoiding spoilers is like trying to avoid COVID. Like it's just they're out there, and someone you know has got them. Nice suit. Apparently, you shouldn't trust people who wear bow ties because a tie points down to accentuate the genitals. Why would you want to trust someone who is trying to accentuate their ears? That's a David Mamet joke. It's funny that this says terrified here, where he's talking about the special that they're airing. He wants everybody to want to see it. This movie turns horror in the third act when the Ghost from Christmas Future, yeah, Ghost from Christmas Future turns up, and it's this big fucking ghost looking thing, like scary skull face and whatever. It's the great moment where Bill Murray like opens the guy's cloak, and it's got like bodies, it's like Freddy Krueger style, like stitched into his person, and he just like shuts it quietly and doesn't say anything. It's fantastic. Jesus Christ. Every time, I'm not going to lie to you. I've known execs like this. I've worked with people in media, not necessarily like TV studio dudes, but people in media who are so committed to selling the product that they completely miss the point of it as well. They exist. None of them are as good as or as funny as Bill Murray, but actually, I'll just say again now that Brad and Addy are watching, I shot 3 episodes back to back today, just solo, to sort of start the new year off because there'll be a bit of a break, and then January 10, the first new episode will air, and that'll be Batman Returns, which I'm excited about. And I did one for the 40-year-old virgin as well, and Venom. Let there be carnage. That's such a stupid title, but anyway. But yeah, so they'll be coming out shortly. And then Brad, we have to get together and do one. Yeah, man, that was pretty fun. I'm tired from doing it all, but God, it was a good time. All right, well, you have to pick. You have to pick what episode it is because that's when I have guest hosts, they pick. So you said Ferris Bueller's Day Off last time, if I remember correctly. Is that a Christmas movie? Ferris Bueller's Day Off is not a Christmas movie, is it? I was saying last night before my fucking stream got cut off. Um, uh, terribly diverse and ethically sound casting here. A lot of people of color, a lot of women with large roles, important roles. No, it's not a Christmas movie? Okay, never mind then. It's a graduation movie or something, that's fine. Now this scene here, I mean, if you're watching along, great. If you're not, I'll tell you where I'm up to. He's just, torn his secretary's child's picture off the wall and been like, "It's crap, get it out of here." Um, I guarantee you there isn't a parent alive who hasn't wanted to do that. Be like, "Sorry, kid, is that a dog? That doesn't look like a dog. It looks like a wombat with lice. Like that's the shittest drawing I've ever seen." No, it's no, we're not putting it on the fridge. Do you know what goes on the fridge? The calendar and my magnets, my favorite magnets. I've got fridge magnets. Oh, don't you worry about it. I have a collection. In fact, I'm the most magnetized person you know, apart from Magneto from the X-Men. That's right. The character, uh, Bobcat Goldthwait's character's last name is Loudermilk. Never heard that before. He gets shitty at the bad ratings. People who do this, like fucking, he's having a glass of scotch here, and it can't be that late because they've just had a meeting. So even if it is late, it's still afternoon. The sun's up. People who can drink uh, uh, like spirits, brown spirits, straight during the day, and then still remain productive, blow my mind. Like I don't drink, but when I did, I never would do that. I mean, I have beer during the day sometimes, or whatever, fucking afternoon, having a bevy at a barbecue or a party or something like that. But like, it's like watching Mad Men. Like, why isn't the last season of that all of them in iron lungs for starters? And why is it that none of them are all having to? Oh no, they do. They always take naps on Mad Men, don't they? That's why, because they're all drinking fucking the brown stuff in the middle of the day. Robert Mitchum, I think he was in the original of is it Night of the Hunter, whatever Cape Fear was a remake of. He's in the original one. Oh, it's, yeah, I get. Was it the last day of work or something? And you're just like, yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna have a spirit. This is funny too. This is the first thing that Bill Murray did after Ghostbusters. He actually, like, Ghostbusters were 84, so he would have shot 82, 83, and then he would have come back, I guess, like 80. Well, yeah, it was 87 to film this because they shot it in 87, and then it was released in 88, like so Christmas to Christmas basically. And he was living in France and was thinking about quitting acting because he had, I don't know, it just wasn't doing it for him. It's so funny. The more difficult people be, the more difficult people are, the more talented they seem to be in some respects. Look at like someone like Marlon Brando, like miraculous actor, fucking dickhead, all day long, trying out Christmas cocktails. What, getting ready for Christmas Day? You were doing some trials, Brad. This is fun. It's like a one-way conversation, but I get a little bit of input. There we go. There's the inciting incident. Everything is riding on this. Everything is riding on this big show. Oh, nice, man. By yourself? Just at home making some cocktails? Or was Brian Brown with you? That's a cocktail joke, everybody. I should put my own laugh track in. Oh shit! What's this guy's name? He's fantastic. He plays he was Lex Luthor. No, he was Lex Luthor Senior on Smallville, and he's in Gremlins 2. He's like the Trumpian figure in Gremlins 2, and he's also in Batman and Robin. He's the one who kills Ivy. Okay, I gotta find his name. With a friend over who makes cocktails. Made a few cocktail jokes myself. Of course, you're gonna make cocktail jokes yourself while you're making cocktails. That's one must go with the other. That actor's name is John Glover, and he's awesome. Yeah, Addy, nice man. Fucking metal or spider webs. That's wicked, man. When are you going? Because I want to fucking talk to you about it. See, this is interesting too. It's like he's about to have a conversation with his brother, and then when the ghost of Christmas present comes and takes him to see the family who he's sort of sees and feels bad that he's not a part of their dinner. It's the brother. In the original, it's Scrooge's nephew. But I think that's because the character of Scrooge is much older than Bill Murray's supposed to be in this. Going on Friday. Nice, man. Well, let me know if you want to do a review. Like if you want to team up to do another review on Thingo. Yeah, cool, man. Have a good rest of your night, Brad. Thanks for dropping by for a minute, and check back another time, and we'll still be here. We'll still be chatting for a little bit, and you can always watch this later as a commentary track. So, but we'll talk soon, brother. Thanks. It's a big truck just went past. I hope you all heard that. Peace, love, and turtles, brother. That's what it's all about. It's hard to make Scrooge likable because he ends up being like the sympathetic part of him only comes up at the very very end. You know what I mean? Like you go through this journey with him, and he gets scared into life. Not afraid of death, but scared into life of missing out. But not FOMO, but in the way that he realizes that his life is worth a lot more than he thought it was. Perhaps. Yeah, for sure. My review will drop after Christmas, probably, so we'll be able to talk to spoilers. Yeah, good call. That's a good idea. Oh, who spoiled it for you? Was it some dickhead on IG? That's trash, man. I'm really sorry. PM me, like private message me on IG and tell me what part got ruined for you. Because that's fucked up. I don't want to say it here because there's a lot of parts that could be spoiled about that. Should like disseminate some fake spoilers, like Peter Parker actually turns into a giant spider in this film, which would have been pretty cool, actually. I could get down on that. I'm so glad this is working. I'm having a really good time. I like talking about movies. I like talking about them. It's so much fun. And I did spend the morning writing as well. Like I was working on a screenplay this morning, so it's nice to turn that part off, the creative part, and just like appreciate, you know, why I do what I do and why I like writing and why I like movies so much and why they're such a huge part of my personality. My fiance was at work the other day and was asking like one of her friends was saying, "Oh, how's Regs doing?" They all know me there, and she works in theatre, so they're all artistic people, and was asking how I was, and is he all right? Is he all right with you out because she's out, 12 hours a day. I barely see her, because she's working so hard on this show. And she's they're like, "Is he all right?" And we're fine. Like we just live our lives parallel, and we come back together, and it's beautiful. We just do our things, and it's whatever. When you get into a relationship for such as long as we've been together, nearly 10 years now, that fucking symbiotic relationship shit goes away, and you just kind of you just live your life, and then sometimes you're together, sometimes you're not. But anyway, more to the point. Um, the guy was like, "Is he okay without you?" And M's like, "We've got a huge TV. Like, we recently got a massive TV, and it's like being in the cinema." She's like, "He's got a cinema at home. Why the fuck would he care what I'm doing?" You know what I mean? And it's so true. But that's because this is my shit. This is my thing. I'm up to 535 movies I've watched this year and 60 seasons of TV, whatever it is. Can't say without spoiling it. It's the money shot, the sole reason I wanted to go and see this film. I feel like I know what you're talking about, and I even might know if what account it was on IG that did it as well. Yeah, PM me in on Instagram, Addy, and let me know because I'm pretty sure I know whom it was. This used to freak me the fuck out, man. The mouse in the back of the guy's head. Oh, great, great prosthetic work. All the water comes out. Well, it's not water, it's scotch. But yeah, so this is his old boss, who was also a horrible piece of work, and dedicated to the cash monies. And he's like how before the actual ghosts turn up, there's like a surrogate who explains what's going to happen. That's this guy. In the original, it was his business partner who died because the book starts with is it Marty or Millie? I think it's Marty is dead or Millie is dead, or Millie was dead, and that's the name of Scrooge's partner. A hallucination brought on by alcohol. Russian vodka poisoned by Chernobyl. That's great. There he is. What happened? Prostitute gag. I want to say in a kids movie, but this is not. This is clearly not a child's film. Yep, I fucking knew it, Addy. Like, yeah, I totally get it. Yep. I mean, even though you kind of knew that was coming at some point, you didn't know the specifics, and you didn't know like how it played out, and now it's really obvious. Yeah, that's fucked, man. I'm sorry, and I'm pretty sure I know the account too. Um, See, I'm having two conversations here. One on the YouTubes, and one with my friend. Oh no, they'll think I'm a suicide. Well, that's cool. He kind of lifts him um out of the building, like through the glass, but the glass is still there. That's cool. I didn't realize that effect last time I watched this. Right. Oh, okay, right, sure. Some random guy. Yeah, it's not cool, man. Like I don't know. This has nothing to do with Scrooge, and we've talked about it before. Like I talked about it in a post. The movie's been out for less than a week. It's not coming out in all regions until January. Like it won't be out in some places. Like you can't fucking put stuff up. Like as much as you want to be about being on the internet is always about being first, which is ridiculous. It's not journalism, folks. It's the fucking internet. Yeah, it's really stupid, to ruin that because it's a movie that requires, you know, an understanding of certain things, but it also requires the element of surprise in order for it to really land. I mean, you kind of can feel what's coming, but not in the way that you see it. Like yeah, that sucks, man. I'm really sorry to hear that. There's some other really cool shit in there though that I think you'll dig that you're not ready for, like Peter Parker turning into a giant spider and attacking a town. That doesn't happen. The golf ball. Yeah. So if anybody's found this later and is using this, recorded live stream as like a VOD commentary track, I'm sorry about all the references to stuff that happened in 2021. And that I'm just kind of talking to my mates, but whatever. You're not here now, so fuck it. That's funny as. The internet, eh? Here we are. Good times. Actually, I should probably take a photo and do it as well. Well, that's stupid, Regan, because now you're taking a photo of. No, that makes sense. There's my setup. We'll do that later. Don't want to be just posting stuff while I'm trying to concentrate. That woman, if you're watching it right now, she is the actress who plays the journalist in Die Hard Shared Cinematic Universe. I wonder. I don't actually know where this is set. Must be New York, I guess. I look so sly in that picture. It's fantastic. Yeah, right on. You can hardly see them nipples. Um, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's Bill Murray's brother or one of them. He's got like three brothers, and they're all like short, portly dudes. Um, Weird, super weird. Yeah, all good, Addy. That's fine, man. Yeah, that sucks, man. That really sucks. But look, you ain't ready. You ain't ready for it in the way that that happens and how it happens, and the extent of how that one image that you've seen tells. It's like looking at um, it's like looking at a map through a pinhole. Like you're only seeing that one tiny area of what the expanse is. So don't worry. I fucking cried. Don't even give a shit. Karen Allen. Yes, Karen Allen, the best of all of the Indiana Jones lovers. Um, Temple of the Crystal Skull, notwithstanding. This is great. This is a great dance number. He's such a cock about it. A little booty here for you. This is, I mean, like kind of more so than anything else. Like this is absolutely a joke about the industrialization of storytelling and the industrialization of media, or the capitalization of media. And 80s, I mean, this was coined in the 80s. Sex sells, TNA is what people pay their money for. Tell me the timestamp. Okay. I can't pause it or anything though. Like I'll just have to, because other people might be following later down the line, and that would mess everything up. So I'm about to be at 28 minutes, and I'll tell you when it's exactly 28 minutes. All right. So get to 20. You've got to. I'll give you a full minute. All right, and we'll go. I'll tell you when it's going to be at 29 minutes exactly, Addy. I'll just say it here. That's all right. So it'll be 29 minutes in. All right. So 29 minutes in, and I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3, and I'll go now. 1 minute. Oh, manhandling a kid. Can't fucking do that anymore. I don't think you could do it then either. 45 seconds, Addy. Thirty seconds, my friend. All right, all set up. Good job. and we've got yeah, so it's Karen Allen and the Bill Murrays are chatting on set. 15 seconds. Okay, and five, four, three, two, one. Now, all right, and he's yelling at people to stop the hammering if that helps. The one thing I'll give Murray as well is when I don't know what he's like in the coverage where you can't see him, but when he's in a shot with someone, and it's probably has a lot to do with his, you know, his ego about his comedy ability. Awesome, man. Um, like he's always on. Like he's a great reactor, which is 90% of good acting is reacting, and he's fantastic at that. But again, he shouldn't be likable, and yet somehow, he's so endearing to watch. Frank Cross. Sounds like he should be a detective or something. Nothing better than an old fashioned sight gag. It's funny. You look at actors who put in performances in movies that they didn't really want to be in. Like Bill Murray didn't want to be in this. Well, I think he did. I think he signed on with the hopes that it would be something special, but ended up having like very very bad actor to director chemistry with Richard Donner. They just did not get along. Um, you know, and really struggled to make the picture. And Murray said that it was made at such a breakneck pace to get it out from like year to year. So they were shooting over Christmas in, I assume, 87 for an 88 release. So to get that done quickly and then post production and then prep and promote and then get the film out for the 88 Christmas, it was a lot. And he said that um, Richard Donner just kept telling him to be louder, and he said, yeah, it wasn't a good film, and I feel like the director was just deaf, which is probably a little bit harsh because Richard Donner, maybe he would have been in his 60s. When was this? 88. This is 10 years after Superman, and he was an older gentleman because he's a hired gun. Richard Donner. He's a worker. Like he made some great pictures. He made some not so great pictures too, but he worked in television, then made The Omen. That was extremely popular, and that's why the Sorkin brothers got him on to make Superman. And then he was, spent the 80s and the 90s making Lethal Weapon pictures, really, and this. He does it. He just takes it up to another level. It's funny too because now he's so muted as an actor. You never see this Bill Murray anymore. Like he doesn't. It'll be interesting to see what he's like in the new Ghostbusters film. That's probably going to be like in the same way that No Way Home is spoilerific. I managed to avoid the spoilers for Afterlife, even though it's out in the States. But I assume he's in it. Obviously he's been in the trailers and stuff. Maybe you'll see a bit more Murraying. But nowadays he plays like the last thing I saw him in was The Dead Don't Die, the Jim Jarmusch film, which was like weird and meta and like it was a great zombie movie, and then like turned and became something else. That was the last thing I saw him in. But like sort of post, what was the one with Scarlett Johansson? Lost in Translation. Post that, he's very mannered. A friend of mine said it once. He'll pick something up. This is the Bill Murray, not my friend. He'll sort of pick it up and he'll like have a long, luxurious moment with it and then put it down. And that's his acting style. He takes his time now. Whereas before it was all like cracking pace. You don't think he's in the new Ghostbusters film? Surely he must be. Have you seen it, Addy? Because we don't get it here in Australia until I think it might be New Year's Day. His Matrix Resurrections is 20 is Boxing Day, I think, or maybe New Year's Day as well. Nothing like a dude on fire. Oh, the French Dispatch. That's the other one. Yeah, that's right. I haven't seen it yet. Comes out February. Okay, cool. We'll talk about it then. Wes Anderson's your favorite director, isn't he, Addy? I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. New York, Christmas in the 80s. Are you kidding me? I had a fucking time machine, I tell you. Those old school cabs. So awesome. Worship Wes Anderson day in and day out. Right on, man. He knows, yeah, he makes some good pictures. Like, you want to talk about, it's funny. I was talking about when I shot the Batman Returns episode today for the first thing next year. I was talking about in particular how that movie is so great because it's such a clear, singular vision. It is a Tim Burton film, start to finish. Like it is there. There is no way that you could mistake that for anyone else's work. And they said to him, "Do whatever you want," and he fucking did, and it's amazing. Wes Anderson has the same. Like even going back so far as to like Bottle Rocket and things like that. Is it Bottle Rockets? That was his first film with the Owens. Anyway, even going back to that, you can see what ended up being this kind of really flat, 2D mannered performance style, quirk that he kind of graduated into as time went by, and then The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's he only makes Wes Anderson films now. He doesn't make anything else." I mean, the Fantastic Mr. Fox, like, forget about it. Yeah, Burton and Wes Anderson have like super distinct styles, even more so than someone like David Fincher, who has a very distinct style and it is recognizable, but it's also easily manipulated and easily aped. But Tim Burton, Wes Anderson, you got to work pretty hard to make your films look like theirs or feel. So he's in the cab now. He's been taken by this elf person. Always thought he looked like an elf person, and he's been taken into the past. This Ghost of Christmas Past ends up being a cab driver. I love that. I don't know why he's got devil ears though. I think this actor was a Saturday Night Live alum as well. I'll check his name. You love Bottle Rocket because he gives you hope for for your own future. That's sweet, man. You've got your whole life ahead of you, buddy. You've got nothing but future. When you get up this end, and there's more years behind you than there is in front of you. You don't worry about that so much, but just don't worry about achieving too much or changing the world or anything. Just be happy. Try and be happy every day. Do what makes you happy, and then whatever you get here ends up being a gift. All right, let me find this guy's name. David Johansen. David Johansen. And he was in Kick-Ass? Who was he in Kick-Ass? Oh, I think he's a musician. Saying rock and roll. He's the New York Dolls. Yeah, I think he's a writer and a performer more than anything. More than an actor. Oh, this is great. The fantastic Brian Doyle Murray, who is Bill Murray's brother. I think his older brother. He's in Ghostbusters 2. Not Ghostbusters as well. Ghostbusters 2, T-O. Sorry, TWO. He comes home and gives the kids, is it a choo-choo train? No, it's 5 pounds of veal. That's so good. This reminds me of when I asked my dad for a Where's Wally book. Yeah, Where's Wally, Addy? Um, Where's Waldo? You know, the guy in the stripy shirt, and you've got to find him amidst all of this stuff that's going on the page. And I desperately wanted one because I wanted to be an animator for a really long time, especially when I was young, like really young. And I thought that they were just the coolest things on earth. And I said to my dad, "Can you get me one?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, yeah, yeah, yeah." That's my dad's the way he talks. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah." You don't know whether it's a yes or a no, really. And yeah, Where's Waldo? That's exactly right. So I asked my dad for one of those books, and he went to the local library and photocopied every page and gave me the photocopies. Do you know how hard it is to find that little fucker in black and white? Had to color him in. Yeah, the good old days. He's crying because the veal's worth so much. This is kind of like the scene in Cable Guy where it's like I was um raised by the TV, you know. All right, we're back in 1 second, folks. I can just hear a knocking. I'm hoping it's not a raven. If I don't come back, it was. I have returned. Wasn't a raven. It was a bird, though. Where I live out in the sticks, but close to the suburbs. We have parrots, king parrots that turn up, and I feel like you can feed them by hand and stuff. It's it's super cute. And when they're hungry, which is usually about now because it's daylight savings, they pop up and they rap on the window when they want food, and I go out and I give them food. Look at this perm. My God. Karen Allen, though, in this is leaning a little bit into that trope of the pixie dream girl thing that doesn't really exist. I was talking about that today when I was doing the Venom episode. Um, sorry, the 40-year-old virgin episode. How it's such an irritating like it's hard to write female character if you're a man and you want to write female characters. Okay, let me rephrase. If you're a straight man and you want to write female characters, it's hard not to write that version of a character, the pixie dream girl. And when I say that, I mean any girl who encompasses everything that you think makes an ideal partner. Because then they have no layers at all. They just end up being this amorphous, nothing because they're completely devoid of real human traits. And it's hard to do that. It's hard to not do that. And I feel like this is one of those cases where it's like you know, she's got all the things that you like Bill Murray's character wants in a partner, and then he ends up being the dickhead, because that thing doesn't exist again. Yeah, I know you get it, man. You're a writer. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You fall into those tropes of telling stories in a certain way because it's just what you're so familiar with. It's good when you start breaking those traditions or breaking those molds is when you start getting interesting storytelling. I think he gets her steak knives if I remember correctly. Super practical if your partner loves steak. Doesn't go down too well in this house because we're all plant based in this house. Which is why, Addie, I asked you a few weeks ago when you were like, "Ask me a question." I was like, "What's your favorite plant based meal to have while watching a program?" That's why, because that's what we do around here. I never understood those ads where you cut, you got knives. And they're like, this can cut through a shoe. I'm like, well, who gives a shit? Who's cutting up their shoes with steak knives? To what end? Unless you're hiding evidence. That's the only thing I can think of. You've either stolen those shoes or they still have a foot in them for whatever reason. Back to the Halloween-a-thon. Also, just while you're all here, once you've finished the stream, if you enjoy, the talk along. This is the first watch along I've done, but there's tons of episodes on the old feed. From the original series I did back in 2016, and there's a whole bunch of new episodes too. Just one came out a couple of weeks ago for Hook. We had a rerun episode of Doctor Strange a couple of weeks ago. Last week. There's a whole 3-part episode on Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is super fun with me and my co-host Hugo. We're also doing a sideshow next year, which I won't talk about too much, but we're doing a little thing about dystopian movies that we're going to do, so it's going to be super fun. So yeah, just like and subscribe. We've got lots of cool stuff coming out. Got some great episodes coming out first thing next year. Going to do some more commentary watch along kind of things. I'm just trying a whole bunch of stuff, see what sticks. Yeah, exactly. Unless you are murdering a murderer, no one uses steak knives anymore. No, that's absolutely right. I guess it's probably hard to be a purveyor of meat-based goods these days, being that everybody's leaning plant-based a lot more of the time. This looks like a good show. The Frisbee the Dog Show. It's one of those pantomime. It's a bone, you lucky dog. Laughing, like fake laughing, must be so hard. What was I watching the other day? Oh yeah, it was No Way Home, and the one of the characters in that is constantly laughing, because it's part of their thing. I'm not no real surprises who it is if you know who it is. It's no real surprise there. I'm not spoiling anything, but yeah, that and the other one was Jim Carrey when he played Ghost of Christmas Present in Disney's A Christmas Carol. Had to be constantly laughing. It's fucking exhausting. You watch Joaquin Phoenix try it in The Joker. Fuck, man, that must have just. I don't know how he didn't pull something. You know how uh Jennifer Lawrence was like she cracked a rib screaming while making Mother apostrophe, not apostrophe. What's that one with the fucking line and then a dot? It's not apostrophe. Maybe it is. Exclamation point is what I'm trying to say. Mother exclamation point. She said she cracked a rib because she had to cry and scream so much. It was just like was horror on her body. Sounds like it would be trying to cack yourself too. If Joaquin's got anything to say about it. I just thought that'd be a fun job, being like a children's TV person, like in the suit. Um, like Bill Murray's in the big dog suit here, but whoever it is. This is comedy gold. Thanks. Yeah, mother exclamation point. You fucking look it up. I guarantee you look it up on IMDb. It says exclamation point. I guarantee it. Let me have a look. I bet you it is. Mother. Ha! I'm right. There's a whole bunch of movies called Mother. There's even one that came out this year, but this one is Mother. I wonder if you can see it. It's backwards, but exclamation point. Jennifer Lawrence. So I was right. I haven't seen that picture. I do like Javier Bardem though. I hear his voice at night. Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer's in it. Michelle for Pfeiffer's. Michelle for Pfeiffer's. Oh, just watching Batman Returns again a couple of times. Like I normally watch it a few times a year anyway, but not in such quick succession. Yeah, I told you, it's actually true. Amazing. I love her so much. But yeah, being a kid, like Barney, maybe not Barney, but a Muppet, like one of the big Muppets, who's in a big Muppet suit, like the Big Bird or Snuffleupagus, would be pretty fun. Any of them would be really fun. I don't have kids, but a friend of mine who does, she says, "But you're good with them," and it's because I'm one. So I think I get along with them well because I have a childlike sensibility. My vocabulary is just better, and I can pay for my own shit and stuff. See, good, sweet, kind, decent pixie dream girl. Not saying that there isn't, people out there who are all of those things, but it seldom comes without actually being a normal person too, like being an asshole sometimes, or being cruel to people, or being manipulative in some way. We're all humans. Oh, poor Bobcat. We just described adulting. Exactly. That's exactly right. That's how I adult. It's all a state of mind. Look at Bill Murray. He's the perfect example. He is the perpetual child, the boy who never grew up. He's Peter Pan, and he still is today. The best Bill Murray story I ever heard was told to me by my friend Ben McGregor, who was on the Doctor Strange episode. He was my writing partner. Like we wrote a screenplay for the Phantom last year, and some of last year, and a lot of years before that. And he's wonderfully creative dude. And we were talking one time. We were talking about how funny Bill Murray is, and how everybody's got a Bill Murray story in Hollywood, not here, but And he was saying that there was he heard a story about this college student who was walking home to a party, and he'd gone to get all the food for this big group of college kids, and they were having pizza. So he's standing there with, like, 8 or 10 pizza boxes, and just walking home, and he sees Bill Murray walking towards him. And he walks up and he's like, "Hey, you're Bill Murray." And without fucking saying anything, we've been completely stum, Bill Murray takes the pizza boxes off this kid, runs off, and shouts behind him, "No one will ever believe you!" Like that. Whatever else he's ever done that wasn't funny, like Stripes, that is not a good film, makes up for it with that gag. That is incredible. I would love to get to the point where my legend was so amazing that I could do that and get away with it and have it be, it might be an apocryphal tale. Like, I don't know, maybe that's not true, but shit, I hope it is. Never seen this before. Film that gets better. Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's, yeah. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Eddie. It's nice to hang out, mate, even if it's just me and you. I think there is someone else here as well, but I don't know who that is. Might be Brad. But it's cool to just watch it and chat and talk some shit. You know, it's Christmas. Finished up work for the year. Despite doing a bunch of work today, it was it's been really good. I feel like I've had a nice December. You know, building up to what'll be Christmas Day. See, and also the girl's just waiting around for him to like get his act together. Like, get fucked. This woman would have been miles away with someone twice as good looking, which throw a stone in New York, and I guarantee you will hit five guys better looking than Bill Murray. And a dozen worse looking, depending on where you are. There's this great podcast I listen to called We Hate Movies, and it's one of the absolutely one of the reasons I do this stitch up is because of these guys. Like, they're just the fucking funniest comedians in New York, and they're all New York based guys, and they always talk about New York, you know, in terms of its suburbs and its boroughs and stuff like that. And it's like an education. Like, if I go, then I reckon I would have a pretty good idea of where to go and see a good movie and where to go and get a good meal and that stuff, because these guys talk about it all the time. That's my pixie dream girl. Is going to New York. He's so irrational. But yeah, he's so big compared to his other performances. And I'm pretty sure it was Lost in Translation that was the turn. Then again, what was the other? Was it a Wes Anderson film, Addy? Rushmore? Imagine doing that. Like, when I was at uni, I studied live broadcast, and we had to call shows, but nothing like this, where it's like multiple sets, multiple action going on at the same time, and effects and all that. 1 hour for dinner on a film set? Get fucked. You'd be lucky to get a bowl of cold rice and 10 minutes by the catering truck. On the productions I've worked on. Not my productions for Hit 66. No, sir. We shoot tight, we rest well, and we get done early because we are stone cold pimps. I love John Glover. He's so good. He kind of plays slimy, but you know, Marley is that, you know, Marley was dead is how A Christmas Carol actually starts, the Charles Dickens novel. Marley was dead. But yeah, John Glover, he's a great the character actor, and he's kind of slimy, but you want him to like you, which is a stupid thing, but you know. Moonrise Kingdom, yeah, that's true. That was after the Life Aquatic though, wasn't it? You know, because Life Aquatic he was still you know, the lead. But now he kind of does little character parts. Yeah, you're right. Oh, Karen Kane, I think was her name. This actress. 1 second, sorry. I'm just using the fantastic IMDb app. They're not a sponsor, but thank you. Mary Carol Kane, yeah. She's wonderful. She plays the Penguin's mum in Gotham. And she's also on, I think it's Kimmy Schmidt. I think she's the landlord in Kimmy Schmidt, and she might be on 30 Rock as well, but she's so amazing in this. And I had a weird crush on her too because I've watched this film a lot. Like when I was a kid, like this came out when I was 6, um, so I watched it a lot. When I was in my you know getting close to my teens, like my tweens to teens, and she just was, oh man, a literal pixie dream girl. Apart from all the getting slapped around, but some people enjoy that. Sometimes you pay extra. Um, but yeah, just such a beautiful woman and such a great actress, great comedy timing, and it's hard to be like deliver your lines really well and be physical at the same time, and she seems to do that. Let me have a look. Yeah, Life Aquatic. Yeah, that's right. I'm also watching you on my laptop and chatting from my phone. It's a weird experience, even for me. You feel dialed up, do you? You feel like you just put the chip in the back here, like Elon Musk says, and forget about it, Addy. You're in the matrix now. This is life imitating life, imitating life, imitating life. You've actually reached the life model decoy of Regan Wood. So this is the Ghost of Christmas Present, and takes him to the home of his secretary, or his assistant rather, and her life, and they've got the kind of the Tiny Tim character here in her son. Really, really great. We're all in the Matrix, mate. This is all artificial, baby. Don't even worry about it. I got a new sound bar with the new TV as well, and it's kicking my ass. I was watching Arcane last night, Addy. I'm about 2 episodes to the end. I fucking love it. Like, I've just gotten to the point where uh, uh, Powder becomes Jinx, and I love it. Like, the animation's just blowing my head off. But fuck, on the with the subby and everything, like, it just sounds so good. Also, shout out to my bicep. Thanks, man. Yeah, I work out a bit. I'm not like Chris Evans or anything, but I do take care of myself. I quit. I've been a vegan for a few years now, and I quit drinking 2 years ago, as well. I quit drinking alcohol, and I replaced it with a healthier lifestyle and outlook. Not I judge anyone if they drink alcohol, but whatever. God bless. I just thought it was time to forget about that as I was reaching 40, and and put all that sort of energy into fitness, and it's been really good. Yeah, man, it's so good. The score's great. I'm not a huge Imagine Dragons fan, but that's pretty cool. And yeah, also the marriage of, excuse me, the real, like, looks like a video game CG stuff, but then like the practical hand drawn animation mixed in, the way that they actually show the power of the arcane working is really, really cool. Jinx's like the way that the plats, the way they move when she like spins the gun, takes out those guys on the hoverboards, like that whole scene, and how it shows her crazy as well. It's just it's such a, like, I love animated stuff, but I it's few and far between. It's like things that I remember that were really great is like Cowboy Bebop, or Gunsmith Cats, or the X-Men cartoon from the 90s and stuff. It takes a lot for me to go, holy shit, this is something I've got to commit to. So I didn't want to ruin it. I was getting tired last night, so I thought I'll save the other 2 episodes for after my stream. I love it how the wings here are kind of, I don't think they're animatronic. I think it's just her movement that's making them move, but they look really cool. The whole design of this film's really awesome. And it's lit like a horror movie. Like, look at those narrow shapes and the shadows that are being cut, and the distressed nature behind the wall there. Like, it's just it's very much a horror picture. And there's Bill Murray's other brother, who's also in Mad Men. He plays the guy who pisses himself. because he's a drunk, but everybody in Mad Men's a drunk. Got a huge crush on Jinx. Yeah, she's awesome, man. I've never played the game. Are you much of a gamer? Like, is it? I know League of Legends is an actual. That was what put me off at first, and then you said it was really good. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a punt. Last episode's amazing, absolutely insane. I can't wait. I like her earrings, like bears. I think this might also. How many brothers does he have? Let me check. I'm gonna check and see what this is up. Oh, Addy, I'm gonna send you my current. Like, I've got a picture on my phone at the moment. Like, that's my screensaver. I'm gonna send it to you because it's a baller picture. Good Spidey shit. All right. Oh, you're the man, Addy. Thanks for adding that. And put it on my story also. Legend. Right, so I'm going to send you an image here. This is my wallpaper on my phone at the moment. Such a cool image. John Romita Jr., great, great Spider-Man artist. His dad was sort of one of the first Spider-Man artists to really kind of shape the character after Ditko. His reactions to getting hurt are so great. It's awesome. The bitch hit me with a toaster. You can't say the B word anymore. Let me have a look. Played a game for a while, but not much of a gamer. So went in blind and was stunned by how amazing it was. Yeah, I'm not much of a gamer either. It's and the reason I knew was my Dan, my business partner in Hit 66. He's the audio contingent of our sound and screen. He's the sound part. He's a big gamer. You know, playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption. You know, and that shit. And what's the other one? The Grand Theft Auto. At least a Gran Turismo. Then that's something else altogether. And this might be another Murray brother. I'm not sure. But he's like, oh, you got to get into it. And you got to get in the online stuff. And he played it once, and I was watching. You know, he was playing it, and we were watching online. Sorry, he was playing online. I was watching him, and it's brutal, man. Like, people are fucking assholes. Like, it's so super competitive and racist, and you know, like, it's just such a weird environment. But I got the game, and I just played it on Xbox, not connected to the internet or anything, just to myself. And you know, just I like the idea of like a free roaming game. That's fun. There was a really good Spider-Man game based on the Tobey Maguire movies. The second one they had sort of like an open plan New York City. You just web around. It was really cool. That was some years ago though. But and then so I'm playing Grand Theft Auto, and I'm like, I spent an hour like doing nothing, just like driving around, looking at the place, and you know, getting into some adventures and bits and pieces. And you know, so I'm like, oh, I want to drive to the beach, and it takes the time that it would take to drive to the beach if you're in California, I guess. And then, you know, I'm on a scooter, and I'm driving up there, and I see a fruit cart. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if I could buy a piece of fruit. This is what I'm doing with my time on video gaming. I'm not out there, you know, shooting prostitutes or you know, running from the cops or whatever. Well, I will be in a minute, but you know, or any of that stuff that people normally do in that game. You know, punch old ladies in the face or whatever, you know, strange itch they have to scratch. And so I'm like, I want to buy a piece of fruit, and I get out and I inadvertently punch this fruit vendor in the face, and then 5 alarm fire. All these dudes show up to chase me, so I get back on my bike, and I'm, you know, bolting to get away from the cops, and I fall down a thing, and then I get onto I find a truck, and I steal a truck, and I end up going through a construction site, and they're shooting at me, and I dive into the water, and I'm swimming, and they've got boats, and I'm just, you know, it's all going crazy, and I swim like full pelt. You know how your character gets tired? He got tired about halfway. So I'm going full pelt, for a good 10 minutes just swimming. So I've been playing the game for 2 to 3 hours now and accomplished nothing. I get out onto a dock and head towards a car and realize I've got a pistol on me, and I pull out the pistol, and just as that happens, I get killed by a fucking mountain lion. Like, it comes out of nowhere. I hear, "Row, row," and then boom, killed, and I wake up in the cop shop, fucking in the city where I left from. Like, it was fucking crap. So I gave up. Yes, I am the literal embodiment of Free Guy. I essentially became an NPC. Yeah, achieving nothing, and apart from wasting my time. But I was still drinking at the time, so I had like 6 beers. I was having a really good time, but in hindsight, it was a monumental waste of time. But yeah, that's the only real video game. Me and my fiance, we play Lego Batmans and stuff occasionally, which is always super fun. I haven't done that in a while, actually. Yeah, doing flips. One flip, two flip, three flip, four flip, five flip, big flips. I'm pretty sure it's not called Charles Dickens' Immortal Scrooge. I'm pretty sure it's called A Christmas Carol. Now, I'm almost positive that this is, yeah, it's a pretty cool image, isn't it, Eddie? I love it. It's beautiful colors, like the blues and like the sky behind him. It's real striking. I just want to check here. So we've got, as far as Murray's, we've got John Murray, who plays the brother. And he was in that. He got the VCR, and you could tell. And then there's definitely Brian Doyle Murray, who played the dad. And there's one more as well. It's a Murray-tastic production. There's two, yeah, there's definitely three of them, but I can't find the other one. And I'm pretty sure that the composer is Danny Elfman. Of course it is. You can tell by that. La, 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 la. I just did that thing that my fiance always tells me I do, where I sing a song, and she's like, "That's not what it sounds like." Whatever. Oh, that's cute. He's starting to feel it now. Look, he's actually getting tears in his eyes. He is a really good actor. When he tries. Never asked if you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings film. Yeah, I mean, not like a super fan or anything. Like, I don't. I've read the books when I was in high school, and they're great. They're really good. A lot of fucking singing and dancing for my taste in book form, which is weird. But and the original trilogy I rewatched almost a year ago. Actually, it was like a year ago last week, because I keep a diary, and I sort of read it back like the day of the year before. So 2020, early December, I finished up work and I watched tab and vodka, disgusting. I watched the 3 extended cuts in one day, which is the better part of, I think, like 10 to 11 hours, and kind of reappraising them for the first time since early 2000s is Bobcat Goldthwait going into a place of business with a pistol, and not a pistol, with a shotgun now, or a rifle. Bit scarier, nowadays than it was then, I guess. You wouldn't be able to play this for laughs anymore. But yeah, so I rewatched the 3 extended cuts, and I loved them. I had a great time. Sort of the amazing feats of filmmaking, like to in terms of their construction and their design and the direction, and just like the overarching story and the bigness of them, the fullness, just remarkable. And I think I appreciated it more this time. I was talking to my friend Tim about it, he's a really big fan, and I said, they're war movies. They're absolutely war movies, and that's, if you divorce yourself from the text, and just enjoy them as war pictures, the same way that you would Bridge of the River Kwai, or Saving Private Ryan or Black Hawk Down or any war film. It works. It totally works. Yeah, it was a big it was a big day, but I was well caffeinated and lots of popcorn, lots of snacks, and it was a good time. Had good fun with it. That was before the stitch up. I would have done some sort of something about it, but yeah, they're definitely. It's probably something I'll go back to every few years and just redo, just because it's a big event. It's like doing Infinity War and Endgame in the same day. Was it yesterday it turned 20? Holy shit, I'm old. My God. That's wild, man. Yeah, that came out when I was it my fucking 2001? Yeah, so I would have been a year out of high school. So in my first year of uni, it came out. Every 6 months, do you do the extended versions? Oh, this is the. Oh, that's right. He still thinks that this is the creature who's going to be on the set. That's creepy. The TV screen with your image in it as his face. That's fucking weird. Yeah, you got to go extended, right? You got to go the extended cut. Otherwise, what the fuck are we doing? This whole section here reminds me of Beetlejuice hardcore. All those like the real sharp angles on all the like the geometry of the shots, and then the way that the grid of the glass mesh is the opposite of the grid on the wall, to the padded wall, and it's making it all like crisscross. So cool. And so that's his little his the grown up. I don't know. You're watching it. Why am I telling you what's going on? So he actually cares. It's always children that do it. That's the trigger. Look at the design on this. This is fantastic. And I always like looked at this. If you look at that haze that's going on in there, where are these marginal indigenous children from? These little urchin children from? They look like they're from 1872. So it's supposed to be 88 for crying out loud, or a little bit after 90s as a be. But this kind of haze that's going on, I always thought that was a lighting technique for a really long time, and it's not. They literally fill the room with fucking fake smoke. What's with the pancake makeup? It's got the Joker. And holy shit, Batman's a year after this. And I can hear the score. Like I can hear portions of the Elfman stuff going on. That's like that would then show up later on in the Batmans. Like, look at this. Look at those towers. And Neo and Trinity are about to step out and shoot every motherfucker. The exact same slate walls. But like, the reality is a crematorium is not that open. It's not that high. And the smoke coming out from underneath the Reaper, just fucking so cool in design. And that's not Richard Donner, I don't think. I think that's more whoever was the production designer and the costume designer and the set designer and all those people. I think that's much more their kind of aesthetic decisions than a Richard Donner. Like I said before, I love Richard Donner, but he was more of a tactician than an artist in a lot of ways. Having said that, watch the first Lethal Weapon again recently. You forget that movie ends with like all the cops putting their guns down and going, yeah, let's just have Mel Gibson and it's Gary Busey, isn't it? Have a big fight with his mahjong teeth and all of Mel's racism. That dude's a racist. This is nightmare shit. We watched this last year. I watched it with my sister-in-law Alex, and she was freaking the fuck out. Like she was like, "Oh my god, that is gonna keep me up." Like the idea of being stuck in a coffin, one, burned alive, two, being Bill Murray, three. Like they're all nightmares. But see, like in order to appreciate life, he has to experience death, or the actual the truest fear of death. Yeah, exactly like Elfman. If you watch Man of Steel, you'll hear the interstellar score, and it's weird. That's so true. Yeah, it does. That like Hans Zimmer's stuff all through that period, like all of his Christopher Nolan stuff, and then into his DCU stuff. They do have a similarity, and you can hear it particularly. I think this is free on YouTube actually. If you go and look up his the big concert that he did, like um, post those movies of like Interstellar and Inception too, and he does all of his big score pieces with an orchestra. You can hear them all bleeding together. He's one of those people who, now you can hear the difference. Before it was like, you want to hear a fucking similarity. He wrote on, it was Klaus Johansson, who was his protege, who is credited with writing the score for Pirates of the Caribbean. But he absolutely, like Hans Zimmer absolutely wrote the theme because it's almost exactly the same thing from from Gladiator. But they do, you know, really good composers are the ones who you can pick, and Danny Elfman's absolutely one of those, and Hans Zimmer is absolutely one of those. Except the Dune score, like you could tell it was him, but that was more soundscape than it was music. What day be this? Yeah, take off your hat, you shit ape. It was weird. It's a weird flex. Falling coin with a cranked camera. I doubt it. Oh. Yeah, you're right. The dude score is otherworldly. That's exactly the way to put it. It sounds like he went to Arrakis and wrote the score while on the planet. This is why Murray took this role, like for this speech at the end, because despite all of his, you know, uh, the difficult nature of his working relationship with a lot of people, particularly some of the people in the Ghostbusters cast, but you know what I'm saying, and his want to get it right and his want to get it his way and his all that stuff. He is at his heart a genuine human being, I think, and I think he's probably like read this script and gone, there is a message here at the end that has little to do with, um, Christmas and little to do with, learning about the importance of life through death, and more just about this is the way that people should be in order to relate to each other all the time. That's so sweet. Who's that guy in the background with the goddamn Chalamet haircut? And he's really good. You give him some dramatic moments, and he really shines. See, that's weird. Where it kind of breaks the. Oh no, this makes perfect sense. It's not breaking the fourth wall. What am I talking about? That poor woman. Oh my god, I never thought I'd hear Robert Mitchum say butthead. I've never noticed that before. He just kicked a fucking cat. That's ridiculous. Apparently, the fourth Spider-Man movie has been officially announced. A lot of this was towards the end here was all ad libbed as well, where he's talking to the you know um, where he's talking directly to the camera. Sexual harassment, kissing you on the stomach. Different times, man. Different times. 1988. Ah, do you know mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it, but a kiss can be even deadlier if you mean it. You talk about sexual harassment, Addy. How about this business? You look at the history of his like sexual conquests in movies. Bill Murray, this is like his characters. I mean, like Karen Allen, beautiful woman. Fucking Sigourney Weaver, forget about it. Oh, that's cute. So charming. Yeah, I mean, of course it is. Of course it is. And look, when you see No Way Home, um, there's always going to be, you know, stingers and bits and pieces at the end that will lead into a sequel, even if there wasn't one. Shit, they've done that with everything. Not a great singer. Oh no, Addy, kisses even deadlier if you mean it. That's not me, man. That's not me. That's a line from Batman Returns. Sam Ham is I have to credit him with that. It's a scene where Catwoman's on top of Batman. He looks over her shoulder after they've just had a fight, and he sees the mistletoe and says, "Mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it." She says, a kiss can be even deadlier if you mean it." And then they bring that line back at the end. So, but I am still a great writer, just not that line. This is all Mario, I reckon. You can tell because they can't rack to him quick enough because he's moving. Look at his eyes. I've never noticed him getting so emotional before, but the TV's really big, so he's really big. This is about to end, Daddy. I'm sorry. So he really gets there. God bless him. Be funny if he just drop kicked that kid and then credits. Fuck off, kid. Knee, elbow. Bonesaw is ready, and just. She does look like a substitute geography teacher, though, doesn't she? That's dark. What, knocking the kid out? No fucking darker than half the stuff that's been in this movie. A guy just walked into a place of business, like an office situation, with a rifle. That's dark. I'm not saying the kid died. Just saying he got knocked over and some, couple of moves. Yeah, they did. Now you're talking. Got some music, got some singing and dances. This is what Christmas is all about. It's about movies and joy and goodwill to all people, regardless of sex, race, creed, religion, ilk. It's about coming together. Forget about all that religious stuff if you don't dig on that, or if you don't follow the holiday in the way that it is. But it's just a good time. That's awesome for everybody to recognize that we're all in it together in the end, and you get to hang out with good friends on YouTube and chat about all sorts of stuff that had nothing to do with Scrooged, and it's fun. Paul went in plaster of Paris, macking on that dude. It just makes me happy. See, this whole bit here is completely ad libbed. Bill Murray wasn't thinking about string for this one. Yeah, no, I have. I watched Klaus for the first time last year, Addy, and fuck, man, it blew my head off. Another really amazing animated style as well. I love the hand drawn, but the kind of CG manipulated for the smoothness of movement. And we watched it just after we got the big TV, the new TV, and it was outstanding. Like, I love that film heaps. It's such an interesting Christmas origin story, because there's a few of those, or at least we were talking about this when we watched the Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell, and how each Christmas movie that centers around Santa has a different myth around what Santa is. Like, how do his powers work? Does he have powers at all? Even something like Christmas with the Cranks, where at the end of it, it's been completely normal. That guy turns up to the party who had the umbrella at the beginning of the film, and then at the end of it, he's Santa and drives off on reindeer and a fucking beetle, like a bug, like a beetle bug, the bumblebee car. Like, none of that other film has been supernatural at all, but it's how that kind of happens. Like the supernatural part of the Santa Claus myth. How he comes down the chimney and how he gets from place to place, how he does everywhere in the night. Then we're talking about that, and Klaus is the one that seems to me is the most seems the truest to what I think the idea of Santa Claus is. And that end part, man, like, spoilers for Klaus. I'm talking to Addy mostly here. The end part where he's like, the character of the mailman character, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, where he's doing the voiceover, and one day his friend was just gone, like they were good friends, and then one day he disappeared, and then but every year, I've stopped trying to explain it now, but every year I get to see my friend. Fuck, man, got goosebumps just saying it. Then, like, oh man, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. What I might do, actually, real quickly, just for all y'all, for all your all my pals here, all my pals, Addy, and whoever else that is here. I don't know who you are, but thanks for watching. I saw you chime in, whether it's Brad or if it's someone else. I hope you had a good time with us just before we go for the night, because it is getting late here. It's 9:15, which means it's probably fucking, I don't know, 11 past 11 wherever you guys are. I just want to find right. So I'm going to go through my Christmas movie musts. I've got a list that we'd use every year. And these are the Christmas movie musts. Klaus being absolutely one of them. This isn't in any discernible order, but Klaus definitely. Scrooged. You got to do Die Hard. I mean, what are we kidding? You've got to do Die Hard, either Christmas Eve or Christmas night. Must be done. Christmas Eve, probably best, but Christmas night's fine too. And double that up. Die Hard 2 after that, immediately after that. Watch that again. It's well worth your time. Gremlins, great. I saw that at the Astor. It's so good. I love quirky Christmas movies more than normal Christmas movies. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang's great. Watched that again the other night. Val Kilmer rules. Friday After Next, which is the third in the Friday trilogy film with Ice Cube and Cat Williams. Love that movie. Just it's really tight. It goes for like 80 minutes. It's just fun. It's just silly fun and adult humor. And I don't smoke weed or anything, but if I did, it'd be the perfect smoke weed one. So you go ahead and do that. Long Kiss Goodnight is definitely one there. Some of these people are like, that's not a Christmas movie. Fuck you. They're on my list. You don't have to watch them if you don't want to. Iron Man 3, set at Christmas. Technically, No Way Home, also set at Christmas. Set in December anyway. Love Actually, I'm kind of souring on a little bit only because I've seen it enough that it's kind of lost its, oh yeah, that kind of wonderment kind of thing. Christmas with the Cranks, absolutely. The Grinch with Jim Carrey, love The Grinch. The Christmas Chronicles, definitely the first one. You can do the second one as well. Klaus, without a doubt. It's a Wonderful Life. Man, Addy, you need to pick me up. Get it. Also, No Way Home is a Christmas movie. Oh shit, you pointed that out. Yeah, well, it is and it isn't. Like it's set at December and there's Christmas like decorations in some scenes. They don't reference it directly. Like no one says Merry Christmas or anything. But yeah, it's definitely there. It's a Wonderful Life is great. The one that I watched just the other day was Office Christmas Party, which was super funny. I love Olivia Munn. I really love Jason Bateman. Well worth your time as well. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is pretty funny, but that's more of a what's the American one? Thanksgiving Story. Polar Express rewatch. I rewatched, but it's like this time, and it's lost its sheen as well. I'm getting to it. I'm not up to Hawkeye yet. Wait a second. And it's not a movie either. It's a TV show. So shut your face. No, the where was I up to? Yeah, Polar Express. Don't watch that. Watch Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey it's on Disney Plus. That's a much better film to watch. Tokyo Godfathers is a really good film. I'd watch that. A Muppet Christmas Carol. I saw a great meme the other day of that. It was like a Muppet Christmas Carol, and hang on one sec. This is going to automatically play some other piece of shit. No, I don't want to watch a Christmas survival something. Anyway, so yeah, what was I saying? I was talking about Christmas Carol, Muppet Christmas. Yeah, a Muppet Christmas Carol. I saw a great meme about it, where it was a picture of Michael Caine in that role of Scrooge and of Ebenezer, and it said, director. Okay, Michael, it's basically a Christmas Carol, but there's heaps of Muppets in it, and it's a whole lot of fun. And then it was, Michael Caine. All right, I'm going to play this as serious as a heart attack, and he does. That movie is he is earnest as hell. Yeah, so Muppets Christmas Carol is always good. There was a good movie that we watched last year called Love the Coopers, which was really sweet. I like that movie a lot. That was good. The Holiday's sweet too, but it's more of that. What's her name? That particular writer. Hang on one second. I'm going to remember it as I'm writing. The Holiday. Nancy Myers. Nancy Myers writes great movies about rich white people. But it's fun. Trading Places is always good too. Jingle All the Way is supposed to be really good. I haven't seen it though. Bad Santa's not as funny as you remember. I'm just going through the ones that I would normally watch. Lethal Weapon's a good one. Batman Returns, fucking top of the list. That's my number one. And Holiday Season. I haven't seen Holiday Season. I'm gonna have to look that up. In Bruges is great. does start with the murder of a child, which is pretty bleak. But it is a funny movie around that. Fred Claus is worth your time, if for no other reason to see a bunch of normal-sized people's heads superimposed onto elves. It's fucking super weird. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, I think. And yeah, of course, Hawkeye. Sorry, Addy, forgot all about Hawkeye, which finishes up tomorrow night. Very excited for that. And I'm going to look up this one. What is it, Addy? It's holiday season. Let me have a look here. With Kristen Stewart and Mackenzie. Oh, right. Oh, it's on Prime. I'm going to watch that tonight, man. I'm going to absolutely watch that tonight. Oh, no, that's the happiest season. Was that the one you meant? With Kristen Stewart and Mackenzie Davies? Perhaps not. This holiday season? You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But yeah, so Hawkeye tomorrow night. We'll have a review out of that probably before Christmas, I think, Addy. Question for after the list. How excited are you for this week's episode? And what do I think is going to happen? For Hawkeye, I mean, I saw a trailer which just sucks. Yeah, the happiest season. Yeah, it's on Prime. I'm going to watch it tonight, man. I'll let you know what I think. I love Kristen Stewart. I reckon she's a really fascinating actress. She's done, so's Pattinson. Like he's made some incredibly intelligent and interesting choices because he's like, I've done my teen twinkly vampire movie people thing. I've made my cash money. Now I can go and make shit like The Lighthouse and Cosmopolis and fucking High Life. And what was the Safdie Brothers film he did? Good Time. Oh, fuck, man. Amazing career. And Kristen Stewart's the same. She's done some really interesting work in the last few years, because she's afforded the opportunity to do that because she doesn't have to do shit because she's got plenty of bank from doing those vampire pictures. So yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I love Mackenzie Davis, and I love the guy from Schitt's Creek as well, whose name escapes me on the top of my head. But back to Hawkeye. Well, I mean, don't want to put any spoilers out there for what happened at the end of the last episode, but those of you who know what happened at the end of the last episode, a certain character was introduced. Ideally, they bring in, the lead of the person of the series that character appeared in. If a certain blind lawyer popped up, I'd be very happy. I think that'd be super cool. All of the Safdie Brothers films give people anxiety, Addy. That's the point. Have you ever seen Anxiety the movie, or otherwise known as fucking Uncut Gems? Yeah, man, the big guy. And that's really cool. Love that actor. I think it'll tie up nicely, and I think it'll probably have the first of the stingers, and I think that will be setting up her as a replacement for Barton. I actually think they're going to kill Clint. It would be a somber yet satisfying end to his arc. From first appearing in the Thor movie and then the Avengers and whatnot, to get him to that point. But then that would widow his wife and half orphan his children, which is pretty fucked up. But I think it's definitely the close on Jeremy Renner. I think he's off now, and I think we get. You don't think he's going to die? You're probably right. If I was writing it, it would be, but I'm not beholden to anything, so I just would do that because I feel like it would be the most, I feel like it would be the baller move, the move that is the biggest swing, and I always go for the biggest swings because that's where you find the most interesting drama. He's got to get back. How do you mean? Like he's got to come back again? I reckon once they've done, because they've got this, the Hulk, She-Hulk show coming out. You've got the stuff that was, all the stuff going on in No Way Home. You've got, the new Black Panther, whatever that's going to be, that series. You've got the new Cap, which is, the Falcon. Actually, it's Anthony Mackie. I think there's a new Avengers coming, and I think it is not populated at all by any of the original Avengers. I think we're looking at people like you know, Ms. Marvel, Kamala Kane. I think we're looking at what's this? Most dark MCU is gone. This Christmas theme has to be. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're very true. Um, I feel like in terms of TV, I think probably Daredevil went darker, but in terms of like the straight MCU with those Avenger based characters, yeah, it's gone to some interesting places. Particularly the stuff that they talk about with uh like the idea of, because there's going to be an Echo series and stuff, and the idea of the character who makes their what perceived flaw their strength, being that she's deaf and uses that to her advantage, and then the physical toll that a life as an Avenger has taken on Clint is really really interesting. That's the kind of stuff where you see a human there. It's funny. I was thinking about this today, and it'll come up in a later episode, but I just want to broach it really quickly now. David Mamet, in one of his ideas, is soft reboot's actually a good idea to open up the door for Daredevil to return, especially if they're doing an Echo series. You're absolutely right. David Mamet, the playwright, who I talk about a lot because I still like his movies a lot. I enjoy his plays. He's a remarkable writer. He's great at structure. But the one thing that he doesn't do, and he said this as much, is he says there's there is no such thing as character. All a character is what they do. And Aristotle said that too. Aristotle, who wrote, the Poetics in thousands of years before the birth of Christ, said that the most important thing that a character, to make a character is what they do. What do they want? Why do they want it? And why now? That anything above and beyond that is all artificial, and it doesn't mean anything. Even to the point where David Mamet says, if you go and you're an actor and you're playing a waitress and you go and waitress at some diner for 6 weeks and then come back to play the part, it doesn't mean anything, because if you suck at acting, all that preparation is not going to mean anything anyway. I don't disagree with that. What I do disagree with is that the enrichment that you get from investigating a persona, investigating a character that isn't your own, whether you're a writer or an actor. And it doesn't make sense, because one of his other lessons is write from experience. Well, if you were writing through experience and you went out and had that experience, then certainly that would inform character. I think character is critical. It's absolutely important. It is the thing that gets you from episode to episode in something like Hawkeye when the plot sucks, or when there's, the themes aren't established properly, or, whatever. How many TV shows have you stuck with throughout, ridiculous seasons because you adore characters? The middle 2 seasons of Orphan Black are almost unwatchable, but the characters keep you coming back. And I think the idea that character doesn't exist, that a character is only what they do, is dismissive of the way that writers and actors investigate people, investigate personalities through whatever means, whether we're talking fantasy or Marvel Universe shit or real life stuff, like that's. I think it's misleading to say that a character is only their behavior, because even if you, as an actor or as a writer, perceive who that character is and it never ends up on the page, your understanding of that character will enrich the way that they sound. And that's also why all of David Mamet's characters sound the same, because he doesn't care about who they are. And I absolutely do. And I feel like that's the thing that Hawkeye has, is that it is all about character, particularly Clint. Like, he is, even though it's much more Kate's story, Clint's arc in this series is beautiful, and it's afforded Renner the opportunity to really be that character in the fullest form that he possibly can, in the total form that he can. He is the very human face of a supernatural, superhuman war that's been going on for over a decade for him, and I love it. I think it's beautiful. It's going to be an epic ending. I can't wait. Doing that for 6 months when there's a good chance that you're not going to be a good actor. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're absolutely right. If you suck at acting, at least you can fall back on being a good actress. So that's it, my friends, or my friend Addy, or and whoever else it is. Yeah, you didn't want to tell me who you are, and that's totally cool. I hope you enjoyed. having a chat about some fun stuff here on the Silly Stitch Up on a Tuesday night, December the 21st, 2021. Merry Christmas to you all, wherever you happen to be and whenever you happen to be watching this. Thanks for hanging out, particularly to Brad and Addy for joining in the chat. And it was good to interact. Good to watch Scrooged. Glad you enjoyed it for the first time and talk about some silly stuff. As I said, there'll be some new episodes first thing next year. We're taking a couple of weeks off over Christmas and New Year just to kind of relax and recharge, and then we'll be hitting it again the second half of season 2 of the Stitch Up in 2001. So, 2001, 2022, if you believe that. So, I'm glad you had a good time, Addy. Thanks again so much. I'm going to go and peep that movie right now. I'm looking forward to it. The happiest season. It's going to be real good. So, thanks so much for hanging out with us. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I've been Regs. This has been the Stitch Up, and Merry Christmas. We'll see you again. Take it easy.